Welcome back to the live stream. Today, of course, we are going to be trading NQ futures like we usually do. We also launched that Analytica Chart for Plus email. Emails do take a little bit to send out, so please be patient. I do want to go over some settings here. So in terms of the Analytica Chart for Plus settings, if you were wondering why I had the absorption setting selected, that is a deprecated setting. It's actually the same thing as the imbalance setting. So as long as you have the absorption checkbox enabled, you'll have the same thing. So I think we'll just jump right into it here. We do have a pretty easy range right here with a very good amount of chop. We're gonna put it into regression mode and arm it in both directions there. So we're just gonna be waiting and seeing what we can do with that. And if it exits this range, we're obviously going to be putting it into trend mode. Market's not moving super fast today, so we might have to wait some time for us to get into a trade. Moving outside of this bar, switching it into trend mode, you can see very clean break here. All right, moving down, we got filled on that trade pretty quickly there. Staying in trend mode as it stands, no reason to switch. Get filled into a short trade here, moves down pretty quickly, gets moved out over to there. There we go. We got a second fill consecutive, now up to $1,100 profit, keeping it in trend mode. If we get confirmation of this range right here, we'll switch it into regression, especially if it bounces off the bottom. Okay, if it bounces off the bottom here, we're switching it into regression, keep that in mind. And then this will act as our support there, or not our support, our resistive line to mark out that range. If we get a clean break here, it's likely that we'll get a very sharp downtrend. However, I'm not the one to make that final call. I just let the software do its thing in terms of that. I don't try and get these huge moves like some of you might be able to. It's just not my forte. Get put into a long trade here, putting us back into this range. That means we're switching it into regression mode there. So very interesting move there. Also, guys, this is a no delay live stream, meaning that I have not inhibited any kind of delay. I have it on the ultra low setting in terms of on YouTube. So of course, though, with streaming, there's going to be about a 5-second lag from when I send the broadcast to when it reaches you guys, depending on where you guys are in the world. But really trying my best to minimize that as much as possible so you guys are able to follow along. But keep that in mind, I don't have anything induced on my end. You put into a long trade here, moves up to our auto chase, or our trailing stop loss, which is the correct terminology for that. This is one of those trades where you really just want to cut loose early, but I got to keep myself from doing that. Got filled very quickly there, or not very quickly, sorry about that. That was kind of a long and drawn out fill there. A lot of conflation at this area, so just keep an eye on volume profile. You can see this huge block of volume there, and that being consistently attributed throughout the next few bars. My streaming software, I see a big red rectangle. I don't know what that means, but I hope the stream quality hasn't suffered too much. You put into a short trade here. If we get stopped out on this, that's a very, very easy trend mode switch. I keep my mouse near the button there to switch into trend. Okay, we got stopped out there, so we're putting it into trend mode. First loss of the day. You can see adversary detection keeping us out of this trade right here. Filled into a short trade, putting us back into this range. If we get filled here, we're putting it back into regression. See, the market on NQ very favorably enjoys regression mode more, but trend mode does have its uses. That's unfortunate there. Second loss of the day, consecutive. And put into a long trade here. Not my tempo right here. Getting really chopped out, but just gotta keep at it. It's all just math at the end of the day. I wanna point out that this line right here is one way. So it is not a two-way line. There is no resistance from here, only a downward movement. Would this be considered the zone that is relevant? And the same as this way, this would not be considered a downward move, it would be only considered upward. That's a shame. I think we're gonna get stopped out here. It's gonna be 3 losses in a row for us, so haven't seen that kind of loss chain in a while. You can see that we have delta at the top of the bars now. I find this easier to read. It's a very strange zone. So if we close red here, that's going to give us indication to switch to regression, especially if delta's positive. Put into a short trade here. If we get filled on this, we switch to regression. I'm going to preemptively, okay, Looks like we got filled very quickly there. So on the stuff like that, just be aware of ranges before you go into trades. Wow, this is interesting. So we're in regression mode here. We can put into a long trade, get filled right off the bat. And this is actually, I would consider this a new zone. We're gonna remove this, and this is gonna be considered our new choppy area. And now once we've gone down below this, it'll be a trend mode switch, as long as it closes below that. Okay, that's interesting. We didn't catch that, so we would have switched to trend mode there, but if we get filled, we keep it in regression. If we get stopped out, we switch it into trend. Got filled there super quickly. If we don't immediately re-enter this range, we'll switch it into trend, but you have to give it some cook-off time. Just a lot of waiting here. Let's see if there's any action. Didn't break through that line there that we had previously marked as of yet. Put into a short trade here. Of course, if we got stopped out, we switch into trend mode because it's outside of the zone. Perfect, got filled there. Really clean, easy short fill. If we close out of this in the short direction, we'll put it into trend. But we actually get filled into a long trade here. If we get stopped though, trend mode. See, it's a pretty simple rule-based system in terms of mode switches. Up to 4744.62. You know, that's pretty darn close to our $5,000 goal. I might just call it right here. Yeah, you know what? I'll take my winnings. So we have a $5,000 profit target, but 4,750, that's only 250 away. So, I mean, why not? Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I think that we're gonna do a Q&A next week. So you'll see the scheduling post on the channel, and I will send out an email onto our mailing list. If you haven't signed up for that, it's free. It'll let you guys know when our live streams are gonna be. So make sure to turn on bell notifications on YouTube as well. Thank you guys so much for watching today, and I will see you guys soon.